Hey guys, this is Beatty and welcome back to Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening speedrun tutorial. Today, we're going to be heading over to Face Shrine, so let's grab our good old Mambo's Mambo. And remember that spot that we uncovered a little while ago? I think on our way to Animal Village the first time? Well, we're going to head over there. But since we have the key, before we even got into the Catfish Maw, we can just head straight to the dungeon. So there's not going to be any enter dungeon 6. You could do an enter dungeon 6 split, but it's literally going to be running from dungeon 5 to dungeon 6. So I don't really worry about it, but you can if you want to split up the dungeon just for the dungeon itself. Now we run into these guys again. I like to make sure, since my arrows are usually kind of low, that I really make sure to grab that arrow. And then once we hop into here, we're just going to throw on our trusty new hook shot. And we're going to go and unlock the dungeon. Now this dungeon, not only does it have the best music, I find it's usually pretty good, pretty quick dungeon. There's a couple of things that can be a little frustrating, but once you kind of practice and understand how they work, usually fixes it up quite a bit more. So we're going to head over into the dungeon here, and let us start it off. So like I said, some of the best music. Most of these enemies we don't really have to worry about. Let's hop through here. Make sure you don't dash here. Well, you could dash there. I guess it doesn't super matter. Go and hit this bad boy. The dash actually prevents that enemy from moving, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you make a move out of the way of where your shot is, then you're fine to go. And the reason that we're going to need all the bomb arrows, or we need to make sure we have at least 2 arrows, is one to open up that door nice and quick. Otherwise you just have to throw a bomb at it, which is relatively slower. Instantly hop over, jump on over here, and those green orbs are the same every time if you get that timing down. Now wait here, bomb it. If you're lucky, you can hit that Moldorm. Me, not lucky today, but you can usually hit that Moldorm as long as the Moldorm doesn't actually block the blast, so it doesn't hit the Wizrobes. Gotta make sure it doesn't hit the you need to make sure that that bomb hits the Wizrobes for that speed to work out. So now we've got the updated power bracelet. We can pick these bad boys up. Do another dash. Bring those down. Bring it up. Pretty simple stuff. Really simple for the first little bit here. Sometimes that green jelly will follow you. He's not too terrible to worry about though. He moves pretty slow. I like to get those guys out of the way so that when we bring this over, boom, we in there. Now we're coming up to one of the parts that's a little timing intensive. It takes a little bit. You just basically need to realize, and we're going to do a little bit of a freeze frame here. Just going to walk in so I can actually get this freeze frame. So there's going to be 2 Wizrobes that show up at the same time here. They're going to show up exactly on those 2 blocks. Got the freeze frame right there. They're going to show up on those 2 blocks. What you're going to want to do is hook shot left and right or right and left. Doesn't matter what. You're going to have to give them a little bit of time to actually show up. Otherwise, when they first pop up, they're actually invincible. And then you're going to place a bomb in the middle. You can place a bomb in the middle first. Makes the timing a bit tighter. And it's the difference of about 2 seconds. So I like to go a bit safer. Make sure I stun both of them with a hook shot first. And then blow them up. So, let's see how it looks. Walk in, stun, stun. I don't mind if I take a hit there, mostly because we're pretty good on health too. If you do need health, you can anti-fairy, or you can magic powder the anti-fairy. Pick that bad boy up, and back to the beginning. Now we're going to head to the other side. Realistically, this dungeon is, other than the boss fight, it's like half done for what we actually need to do. The boss fight takes up about a minute or so. Depending on how it goes. I know in the live split that we do, my bomb arrows were not on point, but it kind of shows backups for what we can do as well. Because I had to do this on post commentary. Anyway, we're gonna head over. Now these guys can kind of get in the way. You want to be a little more to the left of where I was, and then the explosion will open up the door. Just because that bomb arrow is a little bit bigger than it looks, and the hurt box on that red jelly. Okay, this is the worst part about this. So you can grab this bowling ball if you are quick enough in. It's pretty tough. Otherwise, you just have to bait him to throw it first. And then you have to watch out, just like on that first throw. Sometimes it'll just like bounce almost in towards him. And then he just gets the ball again right away, which is very annoying. I haven't really figured out what causes him to just almost absorb the shot. But anyway, here we go. Another spot. You have to wait that half second. And then you aim for that second on the top. And then aim for the wall. And you should be able to hit all 4 of them. Usually I try to aim so I hit the first 3. And then the one guy's alone. But it doesn't really matter as long as you hit 2 and 2. Pick up our key boy here. And back to the beginning. Now all we really need to do is we need to get the nightmare key and then go and kill the boss. So this dungeon is pretty quick. There's a lot in dungeon 6, 7, and 8 that we don't actually do in the dungeon, just because in Link's Awakening the dungeons are actually set up pretty well to, you can do them in quite a few different ways, which is great for speedrunning and getting the routing going for it, because that means you can usually find a pretty optimal route that can usually skip a good chunk, let alone with like even in Glitchless where we can't go out of bounds or anything like that, you can still get a good amount of stuff going. So again, another one of those tile things. Slashing them makes it go a little bit faster. Since if you slash it and then it disappears, you don't have to wait for it to hit the wall and break. Because it seems like the breaking of the previous one is what causes the next one to show up. So if you break them faster, the next one will come up faster. Now these move just like horse pieces. The knight pieces, I didn't say the horse pieces, you said the horse pieces. You will kind of want to be, you don't want to be like touching the next block, because then it's going to go one space too far, but you don't want to be too far back either, because then you'll see like I shot it or threw it a little short. So kind of about in the middle to the upper half of the block, or the closer half of the block will be perfect. These guys, we can kill them real quick with just a good old Ballad of the Windfish. And then, probably the worst part about this dungeon, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I'd go with the worst part. We got the dodongo snakes. Luckily, this guy's kind of moving the way I want him to. Bad bomb placement, but... Actually, that's a terrible bomb placement. But you don't want to just drop them. You kind of want to react to what they're doing. Which can get rather annoying. Especially with these holes in the way, which means now you have to like pick directions and stuff. Sometimes you can get some cool throws like that though. You don't really want to have to do it, but sometimes you gotta do it. So that was like a not great snakes in a run. I think I would maybe lose time on that. Not a lot, but like not enough to worry about, but enough that I think would make a difference. So now that we've got our nightmare key, let's head on back to the beginning again. And now we can finish this dungeon. So this next room we're going to be doing, well actually it's going to be a little bit because we have to go in the underground section again. But basically there's going to be this, just like in the dungeon 3, where there's the enemy that was pushing you away, there's one here that sucks you in. And we have to kill 4 blobs in the room. So what I like to do is dash down, cancel the dash, walk over to the left, and it sucks all 4 of them in. Another thing that other people do is they can jump to the middle, and they'll jump into the middle and slash, and then keep on going. I tend to fall a lot when I do it, and I don't mind. I like the dashing method. I find it's a little bit safer. As to which one is faster, I'm not entirely sure. It's not a huge difference. So go with whichever one you feel better with. Then we're going to head in here, and there are 2 things that you're gonna have equipped. Bomb arrows are faster, but you can also just do bombs and your rock's feather, because there'll be a lot of jumping around. Placing a bomb in this fight is a little annoying, because all the tiles that are flying around will knock it away. So the optimal strat is to break these and shoot bomb arrows at him whenever he pops up. Which, this is a better one than in the live split, so I'd say pay attention to this one but more than what actually happens in the live split. But the live split's kind of like backup. Then it gets a little RNG by this point as to where he shows up. If he's close to a wall, you can shoot him, but that's just a little too far away. He's only once he starts doing the double tiles, that means he's just one hit away. And he beat the dungeon. So there you go. But there are times when you're just going to be like, you know what, my bomb arrows aren't on point. My stick keeps flipping back, so I'm not getting my angles or whatever. Then maybe it's just better to just save the arrows, because we're still going to need a few arrows for the end of the run. And go and just drop the bombs. But there you go. That is Face Shrine. Next time we're going to be heading over to Dungeon 7. Thanks for watching. And happy grinding, fam. This dungeon, that boss can get messy real quick.